Hello, I'm Dr. Heather Johnstone and I'm here at PowerGen India and Central Asia and Distributech India, where I'm joined by Donald Cameron, Head of Primasonics International. Hello Donald, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Great. Can we maybe start by just having a chat about the current state of the Indian power market? We've sort of been hearing over the last couple of days some quite sort of positive attitudes coming through and a degree of optimism.
Yes, we started here at Primasonics International with our acoustic cleaners about 13 years ago, and mainly in the cement industry, which is still a big industry for us. But about 3 years ago, we moved into the power generation industry, and we looked upon India now as our biggest growth market over the next 10 years. Because they have a huge number of coal-fired power stations in which our equipment is ideal, and because they're going to get tighter and tighter in their emission levels and so forth. And we have seen the same happening in South Korea, where is our second largest, it's currently our current largest power generation market. And I hope India will pass that. Because of their tight legislation, we have very good success. So it can only spell well for the future in India, because they have all the power stations here, and they will have to comply with tighter and tighter world legislation on emission levels.
Fantastic. And so you're really talking on the sort of retrofit side of existing capacity. And what about, obviously they've got quite ambitious plans to kind of get new capacity on the grid as well. Where does Primasonic fit into that?
Well, it used to primarily fit in the retrofit. That was our biggest area. But as in South Korea, we're now being selected by manufacturers to install the equipment and then stop the problem occurring in the first place. So it's easier for them because their equipment's under guarantee. If it isn't performing or the fuel source changer or something, they can keep out of trouble by quite a cheap solution. And so in other countries, not yet in India, we are moving towards having our equipment installed with new systems.
Excellent, excellent. So maybe can you share a little bit about how your sort of soup blowing system, your acoustic soup blowing system actually works?
Yes, a lot of the existing cleaning regimes in power stations is what's called steam soup blowers, where they use high pressure steam with compressed air to try and blow the ash off the steam tubes. Now they do that perhaps once every 8 hours, and by that time the ash has baked onto the tube and is very hard. So it's a very harsh regime, and it causes damage to the steam tubes. It causes erosion and corrosion. We use sound waves. For example, our ear doesn't hear sound. Our ear is a pressure sensitive mechanism that detects difference in pressure fluctuations. So it's the same with our acoustic cleaners. We use a push-pull. If you look at an acoustic sound wave, it's got a push and a pull. You imagine, say, 350 of those occurring per second. It debonds and destabilizes the ash material and lets it come away on the gas stream. But the difference with us is we sound our acoustic cleaners for a few seconds every 10 minutes. So the ash doesn't get time to settle on the tubes, doesn't get time to get hot and sintered. So it's a much cleaner, much more environmentally friendly, a much more efficient way of doing it. And the other positive thing about it is we make no money from spare parts. It is not like a steam soup blower where you always have to be repairing it and fixing it and what. Once it's installed, it's very easy. You leave it, and it's no problem.
Fantastic. So it is a perfect representation of something that's simple that just works and really effectively.
Very effective, yes.
Excellent. And with regard to the actual manufacture of the system, is that still done outside of India?
Yes.
Is there sort of plans, obviously based on how your market grows in India, that maybe one day you would look at actually having a manufacturing?
We're discussing it with Abhijit Bakshi, our agent at the moment. We do make all our acoustic cleaners in the UK at the moment, but we are going to look to manufacture in India. It's one of my favourite markets. I love India. I love the people. I find them very honest and very warm and very professional. So we are looking at ways of how we can start manufacturing in India and use that as not just for India, but as a staging post for other countries, wider distribution.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, Donald, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts and updating us on what Primasonic International is doing in this market. It's great.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you.